Dembele at number 9, a gift from the gods, is simply the idea of the century. He's a machine. I have so much freedom to drift out wide to the right or left if I need to or if I feel like it. That's the position I enjoy playing the most. It's about creating chaos. Sometimes you're in front of the back line, sometimes you're behind it. The goal is just to drive them crazy. That's where I feel at home, and I can adapt. And now Dembele stands on the cusp of the Ballon d'Or. At 28, Dembele is living a new chapter of emotion, one that only football could write. From the young boy who squandered a golden chance and sent Barcelona packing in their prime, to the man they cursed when he left for just 25 million euros, at the very moment they had finally begun to believe in him. But that's the life of Ousmane Dembélé, a story painted in wild, clashing colors. He gives hope, he lets you down, and then somehow he climbs higher than ever. Dembélé has come a long way, a very long way. It all began in the quiet corners of Normandy, from Madeleine Evreux to Evreux FC 27, then to Rennes Academy at just 13. He grew up dribbling with no preference for left or right, because both feet were weapons. His first breakthrough came in 2014-15 with Rennes' B team. On his debut against Guingamp, he immediately made his presence felt, contributing to the opening goal. 2 months later, he scored his first senior goal against Laval. Week after week, his name echoed louder across French football. He ended that season with 13 goals in 18 matches. The next year, he broke into the first team and seized the moment. In November 2015, he made his Ligue 1 debut against Angers. A week later, he scored against Bordeaux. But the real explosion came in May 2016. A hat-trick against Nantes that had the whole of France turning their heads. He became the youngest player in nearly 30 years to score 10 goals in a single Ligue 1 season. 12 goals, 5 assists in 26 games. Dembélé was named Ligue 1's Young Player of the Year. Rennes' sporting director, Michael Silvestre, even compared him to Cristiano Ronaldo. Offers came flying in, Leicester, Salzburg, but Dembélé chose Dortmund. On May 12, 2016, Dortmund signed the French prodigy for 15 million euros. By July, he was lighting up the Bundesliga. His first league goal came in a 5-1 win over Wolfsburg. Then he scored in a 12-goal Champions League thriller against Legia Warsaw. He only scored 6 in the league that season, but delivered 12 assists, many of them to Aubameyang, who won the Golden Boot. In the DFB Pokal, his impact was unforgettable. He provided and scored in the semi-final against Bayern, then opened the scoring in the final against Frankfurt, where he was named Man of the Match. Dortmund's first cup in 5 years, he was named Bundesliga's Rookie of the Year, made the Team of the Season, and the Champions League Group Stage Best ICSI. He finished second only to Kylian Mbappe in the 2017 Golden Boy rankings. Then came the summer of 2017, and a moment that would reshape European football. Neymar left Barcelona for PSG in a record-breaking €222 million deal, shaking the football world. Barcelona panicked. They needed a savior, a statement. They found Ousmane Dembélé, the 20-year-old phenom from Dortmund, and made him one of the most expensive signings in history, €105 million plus add-ons. He was brought in to replace Neymar and carry a broken system. But before he could settle, injuries came crashing down. From hamstrings to quads, stretcher after stretcher, tear after tear, Dembélé became the symbol of what could have been. What fans saw wasn't the electric Dembélé from Dortmund, but a clumsy, inconsistent figure who disappeared in the big moments. And then came the moment that defined it all. Champions League semi-final, 2018-19, first leg at Camp Nou. Messi had just made it 3-0 against Liverpool. He laid it off perfectly. Dembélé was through on goal, an open net, one finish away from sealing the final, but Dembélé scuffed it. Weak, straight at Alisson. It was a moment that changed everything. In the return leg, Barcelona collapsed 0-4, eliminated. and that missed chance became part of club folklore, a cursed symbol of a team in decline. From Neymar to Dembele, the butterfly effect that led to heartbreak at Anfield. A turning point that Barca never truly recovered from. It exposed a club lost in transition, dependent on Messi, and blind to the future. Dembele, meanwhile, became the face of an era of waste. The talent was never the problem, but time and fitness never seemed to be on his side. In his final season at Barcelona, Ousmane Dembélé was no longer the raw, wide-eyed youngster who once arrived with sky-high expectations. 6 years at Camp Nou had given him everything, the highs of breathtaking brilliance and the lows of long, silent stretches on the treatment table. There were nights when he dazzled, when his pace and unpredictability lit up the pitch. But there were also times he walked off quietly, lost in the background. Under Xavi, he was given a starting role, freedom to fly down the right flank. And for a while, he responded with electric performances, sharp assists, and endless energy. Just when it felt like everything was finally falling into place, the story took an unexpected turn. In the summer of 2023, Dembélé left Barcelona to join Paris Saint-Germain, ending a turbulent 6-year spell in Catalonia. The transfer made headlines, not just for the €50 million fee, but for the storm of controversy that followed, a tangled mess of contract clauses, timing, and a bitter fallout. It all began when PSG quietly triggered a release clause that was valid for just 5 days at the end of July. While Barcelona were still negotiating a renewal with his agent, Moussa Sissoko, Paris had already made their move. Calm, calculated, complete. Xavi, who had defended Dembélé time and again, didn't hide his disappointment. "I feel Dembélé has not been honest," he admitted bluntly. A painful truth when trust had been misplaced. Barcelona, in the end, received only around €35 million after agent fees and player bonuses. They lost a key player, took a financial hit, and damaged their reputation in the process. There wasn't even time for a proper farewell. Why Dembélé left when he did remains unclear. Some say it was for the money. PSG offered a much better salary. Others think it was about chasing trophies. And then there are those who believe Dembélé simply needed a fresh start, a clean slate after years of noise. But the way it all unfolded raised questions. How could a player like Dembélé create such a tug-of-war between two European giants? The Spanish press described the Barcelona-PSG relationship as a powder keg. Strangely, though, many fans didn't understand why Barca were fighting so hard to keep him. His talent had never been in doubt. But his professionalism? That was a different matter. He had a history of showing up late to training, skipping rehab sessions, even vanishing without explanation. So for some, his departure was a relief. In fact, rumors surfaced that Barca had considered using Dembélé in a deal to sign Mbappé. That stung, and may well have pushed him toward the exit door. Whatever the reason, the way he left a sour taste, an ending that felt incomplete. And yet, even after arriving in Paris, Dembélé wasn't handed the spotlight right away. He started as a supporting act, a backup, forced to wait his turn. Then came the summer of 2024, a seismic shift for PSG as Kylian Mbappé walked away, leaving behind a gaping hole in leadership, identity, and goals. Luis Enrique didn't panic. He didn't chase flashy signings. Instead, he turned inward, and he called upon a name that France had known for nearly a decade as nothing more than potential: Ousmane Dembélé. To Enrique, Dembélé wasn't just a dribbler hugging the sideline. He once described him as the most destabilizing player in world football, and he believed that with just a few adjustments, Dembélé could become a weapon of mass destruction. In 2024, Enrique made Dembélé the heartbeat of his attack, free to roam the right wing, but also encouraged to drift inside like a shadow striker, exploiting gaps between the lines. More importantly, he redesigned the entire system to serve Dembélé's strengths: speed, rhythm, and technical magic in tight spaces. That trust sparked a transformation unlike anything in Dembélé's career. Gone were the sloppy misses, the erratic decisions. In their place came sharp instincts, clinical execution, and a newfound composure in big moments. He finished the season with 33 goals and 15 assists across all competitions, by far the best numbers of his career. No longer a bystander in decisive moments, he had become their creator. And in the Champions League, where PSG were finally crowned kings, that crown would have meant nothing without him. In the knockout rounds, it was Dembele who scored the winner that sank Liverpool at Anfield. Then he struck again in London to knock out Arsenal at the Emirates. But the true masterpiece came in the final at Allianz Arena, where the whole continent had no choice but to say his name. In the 20th minute, he twisted past two defenders and delivered a pinpoint ball to Doué. In the 72nd, he slipped a perfect through pass for Kvaratskhelia to seal the win. 2 assists in a Champions League final, and neither was lucky. Both were born from awareness, clarity, and the calm of a man who had been doubted his entire life. After the match, Luis Enrique beamed with pride. Ousmane didn't need to change who he was. He just needed someone to believe in that version of himself. And on the night PSG finally touched the trophy they had chased for over 3 decades, it was Dembele who turned belief into reality. From a forgotten figure just a year before, to the brightest jewel in Paris' crown. And in that journey, he didn't just rediscover himself, he found the one coach who truly understood him,